true currency, money, gold and silver, those currencies, those will outperform everything else. And that will be the measurement, the standard that all of the currencies get measured by. So everybody needs to understand what repos are. And a repurchase agreement is one bank needs some cash. They need to borrow. They put up a bond and they agree to repurchase that bond, usually in 24 hours, the next day. You see them going along here, and then the Fed just completely stepped out of the repo market. And the repo market was all basically the free market controlling it, the banks determining what the rates were and stuff. And then suddenly the Fed jumping back in. So you can see the scale of it from the Federal Reserve reporting. But, Pam and Russ Martins, they're talking about normally these loans are one-day repo loans, but very, very often they're rolled over day after day after day. So basically it's a 24-hour loan that gets paid off 24 hours from then by financing it with another loan for 24 hours. And so there, during this period of time, the Fed added 14-day, 28-day, and 42-day loans. So if their example here is, let's say a trading firm took a $10 billion loan for one day, but that same day took another $10 billion for 14 days. The 14-day loan for $10 billion represents the equivalent of 14 days of borrowing $10 billion, or a cumulative total of 140. I'm not sure that I'm not sure whether, maybe this is correct way to look at it. Maybe it's not the correct way to look at it. There's 10 billion outstanding at all times on this loan, because it's getting paid off. If it's the equivalent of 14 days of borrowing $10 billion of those 24-hour loans, if there was 14 days of borrowing those loans, they get rolled over day after day after day. And so it isn't 140 billion. Nevertheless, there's different ways of looking at this accounting wise. It is shocking. Even without the multiplication of looking at it, using this other method of cumulative total of, if they took this $10 billion loan that was for an extended period of time, how does it compare to a 24-hour loan for the same amount? Is it cumulative or not? Without that multiplication, it still totaled $4.5 trillion, which is an enormous amount. This is a huge fraction of the U.S. currency supply. That the Fed, remember, the Fed invents this currency when they make the loans, and then the currency gets extinguished when the loans are repaid. Now, if you do this multiplication by accounting for the number of days that the loan is outstanding, then you're talking about just under $20 trillion. That's close to the entire currency supply. One of the things the Fed had said that this was due to tax season and end of the year, and these banks needed currency. But the thing is that Nomura, Barclays, and Deutsche Banks are trading affiliates of foreign banks. And so Pam and Russ say, are we really expected to believe that the U.S. corporations are holding their quarterly tax payments with the trading units of foreign banks? Because these foreign banks needed the bailout. And so this smokescreen, basically lie that the Federal Reserve came up with to try and calm the public down. Oh, it's just because they owed taxes. No, there was a real serious meltdown going on here. And, in closing, they say that the Senate Banking Committee and the House Financial Services Committee, it's time for them to haul the relevant parties into a hearing and get to the bottom of this. What was this, and why is this stuff happening? What it shows is, if this is happening, it shows that the banks are not stable, that they are taking on far more risk than they should be taking on, that these fiduciaries, trusted financial institutions that have a responsibility, are being they're pushing things to the edge because of competitiveness. They have to try and out-profit each other, and that competitiveness leads them to walking this razor's edge of, global financial meltdown, maximum profits, true currency, money, gold and silver, those currencies, those will outperform everything else. And that will be the measurement, the standard that all of the currencies get measured by.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.